welcome back. Today we are carrying on with our Wylder missions and we're going to be fighting the Equilibrious Beast, aka Libra. I do like fighting this boss solo. It's quite a good solo boss. It doesn't gang up on you because there's only one of them, at least in the normal flavour of it. So first of all, we have the Crater special event, which I think is guaranteed after your after you beat the first boss on a new save anyway. And I'm just having a quick look at the map and I've scoped out a target, but before I do that I'm going to just clear out the first camp. It's always worth clearing out the first camp. Like I said in the previous video, there's a big difference between level 1 and level 2, and you don't want to be level 1 really. It's, you know, as you can see, I have very little health. I think I've got slightly more health than you'd normally get because I've got a relic that increases it a bit. We have a few relics equipped now. We didn't in the previous one because it was a brand new save, but we've got a few little relics. Nothing that incredible, and I'm just picking up a lot of things. Now down here, if you spawn over here, there's this bridge and there's this guy here, and behind him is a chest. Well, sometimes there is a chest, and if we have a look over here, we are lucky in that it has spawned a chest. We've got a few things, a few kind of higher level weapons, can't wield yet. But we pick up the Sacred Nightrider flail. The boss is a little weak to Sacred. He's not super weak, but you know, Sacred's not a terrible choice against him. In fact, Sacred's quite a good choice. Fire is also quite good, but Madness is the best one, but there's only really one weapon in the game that does Madness, so it's not really worth worrying about too much. As in the previous run, we're just having a look for a Stone Sword key, and we're going to go and kill the Fire Monk, Flame Monk, whichever one it is. Fairly easy one, really. Fire Monk, there we go. And I just killed a couple of mobs as well up there because we want to get to level 3 as soon as we can, so we can wield blue weapons like the flail we picked up, although I don't think we end up actually using that one. Yeah, we just use the hook, get him stunned, and pretty easy. I do have fire on my starting weapon. That's another perk of the relics that we're using. And now we have a couple of great swords that we can run with. It's always good to dual wield if you are able to. It does, you know, it's just fairly good. You can kind of loop a lot of enemies. And then I kind of did something weird with the weapons there, but it's all good. So I've got the stronger blue weapon in my right hand as my main weapon, and I've switched the starting weapon into my left hand. The Gargoyle's sword is pretty good. It's not the best, and Eruption's not massively useful, but you know, it's pretty solid. And yeah, straight to an Everjail, and it's Crucible Knight, so we're going to switch back to the shield so we can do some parrying. Now these are not too bad parry, just doing the ultimate attack there just to speed the fight up a little. And yeah, just get back into, hopefully we can get into a bit of a loop with a parrying. Phase 2 is a bit more annoying because he does the tail swipes, but we're not too worried about them. That kind of running attack that he does is fairly easy to parry. And this one is a little bit tricky. You do have to delay it slightly, but it's not too hard. And we're off to a pretty good start here, and one more parry does the job. Let's see what we're offered. So Gradual Restoration by Flask I'd never take. It's technically better, but because you do get a larger heal over the time, but I too tend to kind of panic heal, so it's not really good for me. So next we're heading, we can see that the fire's coming in. We're going to grab a heal first from this church. That'll take us to 4. 4's okay for day 1. And we're going to golden pickled foulfoot, which is really good to have. It boosts the number of runes we get for about a minute, I think. It's a bit of a shame in the main game. You know, in normal Elden Ring they last for 3 minutes, but just 1 minute here. I guess everything's a bit faster. And yeah, I decided to fight the hippo because I saw that when I checked the map, this is safely in the circle, and the hippo is not too hard at all, especially not with dual great swords. Again, just doing an ultimate attack when I can to speed the fight along. You do want to be doing the day sections as quickly as possible. And there we go. Quite an easy boss, really. Can get a bit tricky sometimes, but yeah, decided to go for improved physical attack. It's always a good choice, really, unless the weapons offered are very, very good. And now I'm gonna do my usual thing and head for the castle in the middle of the map. Isn't always available to you. It depends where the fire comes in, or if some of the special events. One of the special events will remove the central castle, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, just scrambling up here, and I'm gonna have a quick look at what the merchant's got. And I see the merchant has lots of weapons, including Vike's War Spear. Now earlier I mentioned how the boss we're fighting is weak to madness, and only one weapon in the game does madness. That's that one weapon. So at some point we're going to want to buy it. It's quite expensive at 42,000 runes, but I think it's well worth it, especially for this boss. And now I do the wrong thing and aggro all the trolls. I really shouldn't have done that. So instead of jumping up earlier, I should have gone back down. And instead of going this way around the castle, I should have gone the other way around the castle. So I should have gone to the left instead of to the right. And now I've aggroed all the trolls, and I think maybe I can get away with it. But then I see that big magic ball, magic pot heading towards me, so I jump down and decide to do something else. This isn't super efficient, but it's not the worst thing that can happen, really. I'll just end up slightly underleveled at the end of day 1, but it's not so bad. The trolls don't drop a huge amount. But yeah, anyway, I decide to head more towards the start of the crater and get some progress that way. Try and get all the way in the big jump, but it doesn't quite get me there, but it's good enough. And now I'm just going to kill some of these. I don't know what these enemies are called actually, but yeah. Let's kill a few of them. And that'll get me up to level 7. Level 7's fine really for day 1. But yeah, I mean ideally we'd like to be a bit higher, but 7 will do. Sometimes get pretty good drops there. Not too bothered about them today. And just going to grab another flask, although we will be coming back here later. Might as well grab it now, so we've got it for the end of day boss fight. And just, yeah, kill some more mobs. Lock onto the wrong one, bit annoying, but easily remedied. And just gonna finish this guy off with a jump attack. Well, say that then. a riposte after a stance break. Now I don't want to go down into the crater yet because the fire's not in the right place for that, so now I'm going to head back up. There is a boss up here, but it's a bit early to be killing it, and it is completely in the fire at the moment, as you'll see when we pop up over the edge. There we are. Nearly overdo it and get in the fire, but we managed to stay out. And now I'm thinking the trolls must have de-aggroed by now, so I'll head back to the castle in however much time I have left, which is probably not a lot, but but it's always good to have somewhere to aim for. And there's not really any camps or anything worth doing between here and there, which is slightly annoying. And then, yeah, just try not to fall down the big hole. And just kill some bats. Or just run past them. Yeah, I couldn't remember if I engaged or not, but yeah, they're not really worth it. Although they do do me some damage, which isn't really what I wanted. And now I head the right way to start killing trolls. And the fire's coming in now, but the big tree where the boss fight's going to be is very near us, so we have enough time to at least kill one of the trolls. So I'm just running up to this is a route I should have taken in the first place, because you can kill this one safely without aggroing any of the others. And I just clear out the two little mobs there so they don't get in the way while I'm fighting. They can be very, very annoying. And just get on the jump attack spam. You can see just in the background a couple of seconds ago the other troll was just idling, so we are completely safe. And just grab the reward from this. Better stamina recovery, that's always good. And now I kind of want to grace, so I can actually get to level 7. Fortunately there is one fairly, well, there's a couple of tracers. Rather than dropping down to the slightly closer one, I decided to go to this one, which is a little bit further away, but it's going to be easier to get back from, because I don't have to jump up the wall. And we actually end up getting to level 8, so we're on for the end of a pretty good day, even though we messed up the trolls originally, but it's no big deal. Now we're just going to wait for the enemies to spawn in. I've learnt my lesson from the last match of trying to do too much stuff while the fire's coming in. Although I do want to kill a few mobs before the fight, is, because I know I need a lot of runes, because I want to buy that. I want to buy the Vikes War Spear for 42,000. I also want to buy my usual Wending Grace and extra pocket, which is 15,000 in total. So we need 50 odd thousand. Right, now the mobs have spawned in for the boss fight. Pretty sure I know which one it is, and yeah, just taking care of them. Get hit, which isn't ideal, but not too bad. And then we've got arrows and stuff coming from all over, and there's also the Banished Knight being menacing over there, so just get rid of this crossbow guy and concentrate on the Banished Knight. They're pretty easy to backstab, especially after some of their combos. They leave themselves open, like this one. It's always good to get a bit of distance for that one. I do miss the backstab there, but it's not too bad. And then yeah, they do kind of a sneaky extra follow-up sometimes, but again they do leave themselves open to backstab, and that's it. Now onto the boss proper. So this is Battlefield Commander, so it's essentially Commander O'Neill from Caelid in Elden Ring. he spawns in his goons. I like to save the what's it called, the ultimate attack for when they come in to try and kill them, but annoyingly only killed one of them. This is where bewitching branches come in very handy if you have them. But yeah, this fight it can get a bit out of hand sometimes. And yeah, fail a parry there, which is unfortunate, but not too bad. Get the parry this time. I do like to parry him because you do a lot of damage and you feel cool, and it is just, yeah. And it, some of his follow-up attacks are quite nasty, so if you can parry an early one, then you don't have to worry about it. But I think he's harder than he is in Elden Ring, because like he stays pretty aggro even when the mobs are after you. Whereas in Elden Ring you can kind of, you can draw the mobs away and it takes him a lot longer to get to you. But he doesn't really do that in this particular fight, so it's not a problem. And lots of FP related stuff, which will actually come in handy a bit with the Vike's War Spear, because it has a really it's a slightly dangerous Ash of War, but it is a very good Ash of War, and I do recommend using it. So normally I would level up here, but because I know I'm going to spend a lot of money, I don't level up. And instead I'm just going straight to the merchant. And I'm going to buy a load of things. So first of all, it's the War Spear. And then the Wending Grace and the pocket and the pouch and Wending Grace. Now normally I would kill the rest of the trolls, clear out the castle, maybe have a look underneath for the boss there, but because I know we've got the crater, I'm just going to head straight there. Now the crater's probably my favourite of these Shifting Earth events. It's very good because if you manage to get through it at the end, the reward is a very upgraded weapon, basically. So normally you can't get a legendary gold weapon other than getting it as a chance drop, but with this you can upgrade any of the weapons you have to a gold weapon, which isn't as significant for this weapon because it's already purple, but it means that if you have this crater you can ignore, you don't have to worry about getting upgrade stones or anything if you've got a weapon you like. There's also some pretty good drops in here. There's high chance of getting a good weapon in here itself, although most of them are fire based, so if the boss is not weak to fire then it's not as good, but this boss is fairly weak to fire, so it's all good. But yeah, as you can see, the War Spear, it does lots of damage. It's a fantastic weapon. This guy has slightly annoying spinning attack. He's worth killing though, I'd say. He drops alright amount of runes, and you can use resources to kill him because there's a grace right after him. So Rotten Crystal stuff is good for not us. It's pretty good for casters, but that's not our life. So it took the other boon instead. I'm not going to bother fighting that guy though. He's pretty tanky, and I want to save as much time for the boss down below, which is always a magma worm. All the bosses are always the same when it's this Shifting Earth. In fact, I think all the Shifting Earths are very similar in terms of bosses, but the Rot Forest one does have some different bosses. Yeah. So just killing these mobs because they're easy. And now there is the fire prelates. So they're not too bad. You can, as you can see, you can kind of pull one of them, literally pull one of them if you want, and just Vike's War Spear staggers them out of most of their attacks. It's really handy, especially jump attacks. But even the R1s and R2s, And a very nice combo I found is what I did when I first started fighting that guy, and what I'm doing now, where you do the grappling hook into an R2, and it does quite a big kind of multi-hit combo, and it takes off a lot of their health. Do it again. Yeah, that's taken off like quarter of their health, something like that. So that's really handy. And now we've just got the big guy left. At this point I did kind of want to save my ult for the magma worm, which we will face shortly. Although in retrospect I probably should have just used it on this guy, because I do have a little bit of an issue with him. Yeah, they're pretty powerful, these guys. Their big spin you need to dodge 3 times. Now they shoot fire everywhere, a bit annoying. And the charge is a bit scary. Managed to avoid the charge. I'm pretty sure I died to him though, but I can't remember how. We'll see in a minute. Oh, there we go. Yep, just the headbutt. The headbutt comes out so fast it can be hard to react. And now we have the fire coming in, but it always comes in the same place, so I'm not even going to look at the map. I know that we're safe. And also that's, you know, shows we're making good time progress. And yeah, I'm just gonna cut around the side this time because it's a little bit quicker. Make sure I get my runes back. It's absolutely awful if you lose runes, especially at higher levels. And then yeah, I just go for the ult anyway, just to get it done. No real good choice there, though we're already set up for a weapon, so I just take the damage negation buff and head down here. Now it's not too far to the magma worm. There are some chariots here which I do sometimes go for. They can be very fast to kill. I wouldn't go for all of them. I can't remember if I did this particular time. Looks like I did, yep. Just a very quick kill. 7,500 runes. But that's it. I'll just run past the last couple. You can get good drops down there, but again we're already set up with a weapon, so I'm not too fussed. Got a scarab here. You don't always get a scarab here, but it's not that uncommon, and it gives us more damage when our health is low, which yeah, not really what we want, but you know, it might come in handy. Generally I don't really like having low health in this. Now we just drop all the way down. I do like the lack of full damage in this game, and it's pretty fun. Though you can die falling off where the chariots are. If you fall off into the lava you will die. There is a kill plane there. But yeah, the magma worm not doing the best damage. I mean, they are a little resistant to fire, which isn't ideal as this weapon does a fair bit of fire damage. But I've got a lot of practice now playing against these magma worms. This isn't my cleanest fight against them, but it's not too bad. In the base game, I'd never do a riposte on these because they get so many iframes after the riposte where you can't do any damage to them. But they don't have such a thing in Nightreign. You can just do damage straight away to any enemy that you've staggered. So I do take it here and then try and get some jumping attacks onto the head. The head does take more damage, I think. And then he does the charge, which is kind of annoying. But I know I've got plenty of time, so I'm not too bothered. Just run away. Do a little surge sprint to definitely clear. And now he's stopped running, so that's good. Yeah, I do like jumping over his guillotine slash, I think is what the move's called. Yeah, and just making sure I'm not going to get caught by a spin or anything, because a spin does a lot of damage. I mean, all his attacks do a fair bit of damage. One more riposte, a few more head attacks should probably get us yeah, just missed a couple there, but that's it. Magma Worm's dead. Rivers of Blood, pretty good, but yeah, Spike's Wasp is better for this boss. Rivers of Blood's better on a Executor as well, or Executor, I don't know. But yeah, once we beat this boss, we just take this Spectral Hawk, and that'll take us all the way to where the fire's going to close in. But yeah, level 11 we could do with a little bit more. I always like getting to at least level 12. So yeah, we won't just be waiting for the boss. I mean, we've got loads of time anyway. So we're going to head over to, there's a Spirit Spring just to the left, and that'll take us up to the Red Wolf, which we saw earlier. Just going to grab the quick buff on the way, which for more physical and fire damage, which we are doing both of, and use the Spirit Spring to get pretty near this Red Wolf. Now, yeah, I'm not the best at Red Wolves, I have to admit. But now we have our super upgraded Vikes War Spear. I mean, that was just an R1 and we did a big chunk of damage, so it doesn't take us too long here. I'm getting better at Red Wolf, but I'm still, yeah, I still get hit more than I like. And then I bust out the L2 because it's really cool. It does build Madness on us, which might be dangerous in a fight against a boss that also does Madness, but it's worth it. I think if you can get it in, it does take a while to cast, but if you can do it, do it. Pick up better flask restoration. We're still not quite level 12. I mean, we will be after the first night boss, but there's these wolves that I can kill pretty quickly, in theory. It does take longer if you miss. That is a scientific fact. But yeah, they don't take too long. And then you probably spotted there's a demi-human down there as well, a demi-human boss. And now the fire's starting to come in, but we're still a little way from it, and we can do a big plunge attack on this boss. And then I think I just go for the L2 to do almost all of its health bar there. A few more hits will get the job done, and nice stagger to finish it off. And then got a few mobs to tidy up, and it's dropped a legendary weapon, but it's not a particularly good legendary weapon. I think the skill on it is really good, but a bit like maybe in a team game against a boss that's weak to fire, it would be a lot of fun. But you really kind of need someone to distract the boss while you use it. It's quite a long animation, but anyway, we're not going to use it. We have Vikes War Spear, which is probably the best weapon for Libra. And yeah, we're going to stick with it. We've also upgraded it, which you can only do if you have the crater, like purple. You can't upgrade purples, usually. Just gonna kill mobs, get more runes. That's the aim of the game. Yeah, and again that hook shot and R2 combo is fantastic. Kill all the demi-humans and check this drop. Volcano pots are pretty cool. And I dropped the exploding physic because I'm never going to use that. I've been carrying it the whole run pretty much, but yeah. And that's it. I'm not going to muck about this time. I'm not going to go and do any last minute camps. Just going to wait for the bus, and here it is. Well, here's some mobs anyway. So these misbegotten are they're fine. The flying ones, they're very annoying. The grappling hook's good for them, and the spear has decent reach, so yeah, jump attacks also pretty good. Although yeah, you do miss quite a lot, but yeah, we only need to hit them a couple of times. The scale is doing a bit more damage than I'd like, and yeah, I would have preferred to keep my heals for the boss, but we will be fine. Now these scaly misbegottens means it's the Crucible Knight. Haven't had too many this run. We had one in another jail, but there weren't any in the castle. And yeah, they're also weak to fire, so this weapon is very good against them. So I'm just going to go for the usual parry loop, jump over the stomp, slightly delayed parry for that one, riposte, get an R1 in, parry him again. Now we've got to below half health, so another boss has spawned in, which is Golden Hippo, which we killed an example of earlier. So the Hippo tends to be more aggressive, and it's come from nowhere and grabbed me, but that was just because I was being greedy really. So I'm gonna heal up and focus on the Hippo. The Crucible Knight will mainly kind of chill in the background while you're fighting the Hippo. So I really should have switched to the Hippo a little bit earlier. I also did a random parry into nothing, and that was because my intent was to use the skill on the War Spear, but I forgot to two-hand it first. Get a nice stagger. The Knight's being slightly scary there, but I just run past. There we go, there we do the L2, which does a lot of damage. And the Hippo's nearly dead, although yeah, does hit me quite hard. But yeah, managed to kill it without too much hassle, and I've got a full heal left. And the Crucible Knight's probably two or three parries away from being killed. I just stand there and take that, but yeah, it's fine. Get the parry loop going. One more parry, I'll do it. In fact, I don't even need a parry, just stab him. Now, yeah, maximum stamina is always good. We should get to level 13 at least. Straight into the Spirit Shelter. And do my usual Wending Grace purchasing. And level 13. 13 is it's more than enough really. We got enough runes for the Opaline Hard tier, which is pretty good. And that reduces all our damage taken by quite a lot. And then I just swap the ordering around a little bit to make it easy to use in the fight. And then head into the night boss. Now Libra starts off having a conversation with you, which is interesting. So you talk to him, and he offers various deals. I don't like any of these that he's offering today. Some of them are quite good. Eventual Greatness is good. You do have to stay alive for 2 minutes, though, with reduced stats, but then you get like tons of stats. But yeah, anyway, I open up with the L2, which immediately gets him into kind of a frenzy state. So he does do more damage in this state, but he does easier to avoid moves. Now that move there where he puts his hand up, see, I get a bit carried away because I know I've got a great weapon and end up going down. But yeah, where there's a big sigil on the floor, you need to not be in that sigil. And there we go, proc madness on him again. We did miss the riposte, but the madness proc was nice to have. And heal up again. And now he does his meditation. We need to break these sigils when he does this. The first time he does it, there's only 3. It's pretty easy to do. I like to use the hook sometimes if I'm a bit further away. But yeah, that will drop him down. He'll do a big scream, so back off slightly. And then you can attack him. I don't quite get the positioning right, so I get caught up by his explosion. But I do manage to roll through that big madness bit, which is good. Now the second time he does that meditation, it's not really possible for a solo player to get all of the sigils, so that's what I'm saving my ultimate attack for. Again, just roll through that, and nice stagger. This time I do get the riposte. Decent chunk of health gone there, and I get an L2 in to proc madness on him again. Now he settles down slightly, and now he's doing meditation again, but I've got my ult still, so that will break him out of it. There's not a lot of things that'll break him out of it, but Wylder ult will. And then I accidentally go and get madness procced. Doing too many L2s in combination of his attacks, but it's okay. That's what the Wending Graces are for. And now he's going to go a bit crazy, but it's still fairly easy to avoid. I mean, I get tagged there, but it doesn't do too much damage. And I'm just trying to get a hit in. One more should do it, and I'll just throw the volcano pot in just for fun. And yeah, that's it. That's Libra done. So again, yeah, we didn't have to get to level 15 or anything. We did get a really, really good weapon. We were a bit lucky that the merchant had it. And yeah, we've got a couple of relics now. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. And I'll be back again with another one soon.